What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by Bet Online. The Blazers today lose to the Orlando Magic, 109-106. Terrible game, and the Blazers are back home, and they still suck. And we're going to talk about how they suck, and yeah, that'll be a fun stream. Anyway, Eric, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, I guess.
Cool.
Frustrated for sure.
Yeah, because this team sucks.
But at least we have Bet Online to go, and we can bet against the Blazers every game and win money, right?
Yeah, exactly, and use that promo code BELIEVE. This postgame show is presented by Bet Online. The Blazers were one of the best teams against the spread a couple of weeks ago, but that is no longer going to be the case because they keep losing and losing and losing and losing. But anyway, you can take the sting off the losses with Bet Online and that promo code for 50% rewards. And you can also bet on the football playoffs coming up if you want to. Check out Bet Online. They got live scores, parlays, live betting, all sorts of fun stuff. Thank you to them for sponsoring us as always. Okay, so I gotta fix this scoreboard because I don't know what's going on with the scoreboard, but the scoreboard is broken. Because no, we did not beat the Rockets today. We lost to the Magic. Anyway, Eric, go ahead, man. Just while I fix this crap, you can talk about how much this team sucks.
Well, shout out to Shaggy Squid for the Australian $2 donation, who says, "We are 2-8 in our last 10 games." That is correct. We absolutely suck right now. And it's unfortunately a multitude of things. In this particular game, it's infuriating that we lose 3 in a row and we come out playing like this is a guaranteed win and we don't really have to play very hard. It seemed like we're stuck in the mud. Orlando played last night, probably used we were tired after coming home off a road trip. It's hard the first game back. Legs are tired, But we just came out completely flat, unprepared for any kind of defense or adjusting or figuring out how to stop them from getting whatever shot they wanted. And just super frustrating, get down 19 points and, have to furiously come back. All of a sudden, the starters have to play most of the first half. And then, of course, Dame, Ant, and Grant all play 12 minutes in the third quarter because we came back and tied Orlando at halftime. So we had this game in the bag, right? So they just come out completely flat again in the second half, like they already won the freaking game and don't even freaking come out at halftime. Like, what were they doing? They obviously, celebrated this win during half because they certainly did not come out thinking they had to play very hard in the second half. And they get down 15 again. And then, it's just – and then they, of course, come back. But Dame, Grant, and Ant had to play the entire third quarter. Ant played the whole second half, I believe. And we're already talking about how everyone's tired, yet we have to – play everyone 40 freaking minutes against the freaking Magic, and we still can't even win. It's just really pathetic on several fronts right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think these guys have no legs because they play 40 minutes a game. Is my best guess. This is why players don't play 40 to 42 minutes a game. They're being run into the ground. The bench sucks. I mean, at this point, freaking rest the starters the next 3 games. Screw it. We're not going to beat Cleveland or Dallas anyway, right? Whatever. You're going to end up, 5 games below 500? Well, you're going to have to try and fight back from that with some future wins. And they're not going to win a freaking game when these players have absolutely no legs, and I think that's the case. I mean, Jeremy Grant lately has been absolutely awful from 3. He's 1 for his last 18. Dame doesn't fully look like himself. He did have a nice poster dunk. That was cool, but his shot from 3 is off. Ant's shot from 3 is off. This team can't make threes. They shot 17% today. They had no legs, and you're talking about a Magic team that gave up 136 points last night. This is the second night of back-to-back, but they had fresher legs than us, and that's because our starters get run into the ground in games that we don't even win. So that's the biggest problem right now. Part of that is because the bench sucks. The bench freaking sucks right now. And the hot shooting at the start of the season, Nas shooting 50% from from 3 for the first 15 games or whatever. Sharp shooting close to there. Grant shooting mid-40s. That's no longer going to be the case. You expected that to come crashing down to earth, so that's the difference between the start of the season. Jeremy Grant is going to be below 40% here soon. And this, I don't know, when starters are playing 42 minutes a game, it's hard to even get too mad about them, not playing with energy because it's hard to consistently play with energy for 42 minutes a game when you're playing 42 minutes a game.
Well, I mean, the start, you get off to a better start. Maybe they don't have to play that much in this particular game, but that's been a byproduct of the whole season. You're right.
It just seems like they got to get down in order to have enough energy. Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing. When you got tired legs, like when you're down 15, it's like, oh shoot, it's a motivating factor being down like that. But that's the problem is, like, they come back and tie it. They come out flat. They came out of the game flat in the first half. They came out of the game flat in the second half. Like, they are not able to come out of halves with energy. And I think you're starting to see that be a pattern. And late in games, you know, they haven't been able to make shots. I think that's a product of tired legs. And I don't know. This team was playing really good basketball to start the season when they were fresh. And then these starters have been overplayed. And, yeah, it's obviously a problem. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even have the energy. Speaking of not having energy, like, I know y'all deserve a rant, and Eric will probably give it to you. I don't have the energy to rant.
I was trying to give it to him, but
yeah, I don't have the, like, just, this team sucks, I guess. Like, whatever. I've tried to preach patience with this team because of this stretch of games coming up, and we started off and we lose at home to the Magic. Like, that's terrible. The Magic are playing better recently, but, yeah, I mean, it's just sad when Wendell Carter Jr. is out shooting your three best players who are all supposed to be shooters, right? You know, he had a couple threes, if I recall correctly. He hit a mid-range shot. Like, it's just, we couldn't hit shots tonight. Defensively, 109 is not great, but, you know, it's not terrible. But you let Franz Wagner, you let Banchero go off, and then the turnovers have continued to be a problem, and it was a problem in the first half, and this isn't even a defense that forces turnovers. We just basically cough up the ball to them time and time again. So this team is in a mental funk right now. I think this team is in a physical funk right now. This team is physically gassed. They're struggling to do the things that they need to do on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, when you're gassed, it's hard to play defense, but we have been okay lately. Offensively is the bigger issue right now, which is just sad because that should not be the case. Even Josh Hart has started to play better recently. And Nurkic had some good moments tonight despite his sloppiness. But our big three is just not a big three whatsoever. Those guys got to be three of the best players on the floor, and they're just not. Outside of little stretches where Ant might hit a three and get a layup, or Dame might dunk on somebody and then hit a three. Like, outside of that, I mean, those guys are just not playing up to their standard, and this team sucks because of it.
Yeah, well, you know, look what happened at the end of the game when Jeremy Grant switched on to Franz Wagner after he absolutely cooked our guards and like drove right in on Eubanks, and Eubanks couldn't stop him at the rim. Jeremy Grant comes in, gets two straight stops on him, and then he gets switched on to Banchero a few plays later, gets, you know, tries to take the charge, you know, that gets overruled, whatever. But, like, where was that the rest of the game? Like, why? What is up with our stupid ass defensive game plans, man?
Who do you put on Banchero?
I don't know, but like they had guards on him the entire game, whether it was Wagner or Banchero. Like it just. They just kept doing it, man.
I would have liked to see hard guard Banchero. I feel like that wouldn't have been a terrible matchup. But Banchero can punish guys down low. That's the problem, is they start those guys at the 3 and 4.
But that's not what happened. You know, like if it starts to happen, maybe you switch the matchups a little bit. You know, but like we were in zone to start this game, and it just got absolutely demolished, like it has been for, you know, a month and a half now. And then like I don't know. Jeremy Grant sure played good defense on Franz towards the end of this game.
Yeah.
But where was that the rest of the game? You know, like I don't know. And then this game completely turned. The reason why we lost this game, I mean, outside of, you know, getting down by so much and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, can I talk about this? Because you're normally pretty harder on Chauncey than I am, but I want to be hard on Chauncey for once. Because you're going to talk about the charge that wasn't, or the illegal screen that wasn't an illegal screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let me just set you up here. I will set you up.
Set me up.
Okay.
Assist me.
Okay. Blazers in the game with one timeout, right?
Mm-hmm.
They also ended the game without using their challenge, which leads us to the moment that Chauncey absolutely had to challenge. And when was that, Tori?
That was when Nurkic literally stood there like a freaking statue. My guy Jalen Suggs flopped after he ran into the Nurkic stationary screen. And the ref from clear across the court in the opposite corner sees that the guy trying to get through the screen fell on the floor. So, it had to be an offensive foul. We're just going to guess at the freaking call, and we're just going to call it an offensive foul because there's a dude on the floor. Nurkic's fourth foul. Turning point of this game. This team was much better with Nurkic in the game because Drew Eubanks is just not as good as Yusuf Nurkic, all right? It's just obvious. Like, Nurkic is much smarter defensively. We talked about it a lot, and there's people that are sick of us talking about it, but it's just the truth, all right? So you needed Nurkic in this game, and he picks up his fourth foul with a screen where he did not move, and Chauncey doesn't use his challenge. What's the worst that can happen if you challenge it? Oh, they keep the call the same? Okay, cool, whatever. That's the same as not using your challenge the entire game. Yes, that changed the momentum in the game. That picked up Nurkic's fourth foul, and then he gets his fifth foul right after that, has to sub out. Then the Magic start playing better offensively when Nurkic out of the game. Yep, and they attack Eubanks. Yep, that was the turning part of this game. And Chauncey, I'm tired of him saving his challenge, and the broadcaster's talking about it like, this is why he saves his challenge for a 50-50 call late in the game when there's there's no way that was a moving screen. That absolutely would have gotten overturned, especially considering the Jeremy Grant. I thought the Jeremy Grant play was a charge, by the way. I had a lot of people fight back on that, but I thought it was a charge because I thought Grant beat him to the spot. But that was more of a 50-50 play than the freaking Nerk illegal screen. So, stupid not to use your challenge there, and then not even use it the rest of the game. There was questionable calls in this game, and it was Nurkic's fourth foul. I don't know what the hell Chauncey was doing. I don't know if he was waiting for somebody from the bench to say, hey, you should challenge that, but at some point you just got to step up and challenge something in a game like this, and not using your challenge is a travesty.
Yep. And now, congratulations, Chauncey. You still have it. You can use it next game, right? Oh, nope. It doesn't transfer over to the next game, so you just wasted it for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just stupid. Just stupid. So, cool. That pissed me off. Anyway, I'm trying to fix this freaking scoreboard graphic because I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, the scores are from last night, too, on the bottom.
Why are the scores from last night on the bottom?
I don't know. How's the Magic playing the Kings last night and getting blown out? They lost by 25 to the Kings, but they come in and smoke us.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fun
I don't know
times.
what's going on with that, so whatever. I'll fix the top at least. And then, at least it won't say Rockets, and people get confused. Like, what stream did I tune into? Anyway, what's chat saying, Eric? Because I haven't looked at chat basically this entire time while I fix
I don't think you want to.
I'm sure it's, I'm sure this is like the worst adversity that people have faced, in years or something. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, this team sucks. It is what it is. I don't understand why people, it literally seems like people freak out to me. Like, I understand being mad. I understand ranting about it, whatever. But the team, I don't know, man. This season is different to me in terms of how mad I get about this team. I don't know why. I just cannot identify with, absolutely freaking out like it's the end of the world. It's, they suck right now. Is what it is. I don't know. It sucks. Absolutely. But I don't know. I can't let myself get too worked up because I will not be able to mentally handle it. I can't think like everybody in chat or half a chat, man. But that's the problem is I come here on these post-game streams and chat's going like that and it's hard not to. Mm-hmm. But I can't handle streaming and doing all this content around this team and then also being a fan of the team. I understand why media aren't fans of the team now. I understand why people who cover the team don't want to be diehard fans. Freaking sucks. So yeah, I guess I'm glad I'm making this graphic anyway. Most of the chat's pretty good. I'm not trying to be too hard on you, chat. Most of y'all pretty good, man. Just I know that there's probably people completely going off the rails, but this team's off the rails, so whatever.
Kyle Wilson with the $5 donation. Thank you, Kyle. Taking my sister to the Dallas game with me before she goes back to San Diego for school. She's going to San Diego State as a bio major, and I'm worried she won't come home.
Well,
you mean like
to her, but
she won't come back home after having to sit through a Blazer game with you?
Because the team's so bad. That's funny.
Shout out to Brian Tadovich. Thank you for a $5 donation for streaming when we still suck. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you, man. It's tough.
And then a $10 donation from Coleman Schleiss. Thank you, man. Thanks for keeping it moving with these post-game streams. Some hard games to watch. Hopefully pull out of this funk. So we can maybe get to Chauncey's interview tonight, because that's what he said, is the quote that I'm seeing from that. Is that this team is just in a little bit of a funk, and can't really pinpoint why.
I mean, they made 17% of their three-point shots and lost 109-106. Like, I don't know. Like, going into this game, if you said, okay, you'll give up 109 points to the Orlando Magic, would you have taken it, or would you have said, no, that's not good enough?
I mean, you got to think that's good enough, but...
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're the type of team that gives us problems. We struggle defending skilled big forwards, especially when they got two of them, where it's not like you can just put Jeremy Grant against one of them. They got two of them, and both those guys can handle the ball. Both those guys can pass the ball. Both those guys can be the ball handler in a pick and roll, so you can run Grant through screens against those forwards, and we know Grant's screen navigation isn't the best. Like, matchup problem, man. The Blazers suck against teams with skilled forwards, multiple skilled forwards. That's why I was worried about going into this game. And I talked about it in my preview, like the goal was to hold those two guys, Wagner and Banchero. The goal I set for them was to hold them to under 40 combined points. I know Wagner had like 30. Let me pull up the box score here because I didn't have it up. At least I got the scoreboard fixed. Wagner had 29, Banchero had 19, so they combined for 48. Failed that battle.
I mean, at some point, if Chauncey really just doesn't want to say it, and it's because the starters are tired, no matter how bad your bench is, you have to just let them lose the game for you or whatever. And you can't continue to play everyone 40 minutes and expect them to not be tired all of a sudden, like 2 weeks from now. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you just have to let Sharp play 30 minutes and just let us lose a game like this. But at least we didn't burn our starters that could affect the next game and the next game and the next game, and on and on and on for now a month and a half, basically 2 months almost, if you go back to the stretch in November. I just feel like at some point, no matter how bad your bench is, you have to at least just to lose a game. You're losing games anyway. Just don't lose it because you're making your starters even more tired. And especially when you get down 19 to the frickin' Magic in the first, like right off the bat, like just frickin' pull the shoot. And I know we should have came back and won this game still, and we almost did. But like at some point, you just have to like quit doing this, and if you need your team to be better.
He's stuck between like thinking, okay, I want these guys to have a chance to win this particular game, right, and I'm going to give up on this game in the first half, because playing the bench out and not playing these guys many minutes is basically giving up on games in the first half. So that's where Chauncey's. I'm not saying that's the right thinking, but I guarantee you that's what it comes down to, is like, we gotta win. We gotta like start winning some games. We gotta win a game. We gotta get right with the win. Like, that's how Chauncey's thinking about it, and he's approaching it on a game by game basis. But I'm gonna make probably maybe the same point you're gonna make. The problem is that thinking, A, isn't winning us games, and B, it's causing problems in future games, because these guys are probably gassed as hell. They look gassed. Mm-hmm. So it's just compounding itself into a long-term problem, and then we're even more desperate to win, and it's like...
Here's what I'll say to that, too. So I mentioned how 3 of our starters played the entire third quarter, right? So Dame finally sits, and I think Grant sits at the beginning of the fourth quarter. We're down 9 heading into the quarter. So 3 minutes into the quarter, 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the quarter, a lineup of Sharp, Hart, who had been sitting in the third because he got in foul trouble and got that technical, Jabari Walker, Yusuf Nurkic, and Anthony Simons, who played, like I said, played the whole second half. So that's three starters, two of which played the least amount of minutes and didn't play the whole fourth quarter, and Sharp and Walker are two rookies. In 3 minutes, they had gotten the lead down from 9 to 5. And then we put Dame in with 8:50 left. So we got 3 minutes and 10 seconds left of rest. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, though. Like, just let that lineup see if Orlando scores a couple buckets and it gets back to 9, sure. But just let that play out. Like, just at some point you gotta just let this team sink or swim with a lineup that's playing well. And if they blow it, like I said, we lost anyway, so who freaking cares? But I get it that he's trying to win games. But, you have to realize that you just played Dame the entire third quarter. In the first half, he was holding his knee like he had hurt it or something. It's just crazy that, we just immediately put our starters back in, and the lineup that's playing well, including two of our rookies, it just goes right back to the bench. And not that Sharp and Walker had a great game or anything, but if they're going to get minutes, we got to let them learn on the court, and that's the perfect time to get them some learning experience.
Yeah, no, I mean, when they're playing
at Navy Federal Credit Union, we were founded as a
Eubanks was a +7, Walker was a +4, Sharp's a +8, and I guarantee you that's because A, they're going up against a bad team, B, they have more energy because they're not playing 43 minutes. Anthony Simons played 43 minutes tonight. Jeremy Grant played 41 minutes tonight. Jeremy Grant has made one of his last 18 3-point attempts. There's a hitch in his release now, like a Rocco type of, Rocco occasionally would have this weird hitch on his release with the shooting wrist. That's what I've noticed from Grant lately. He cannot buy a three. He can't space the floor. And then half the time when he shoots all these dumb mid-range fadeaways when he's great going to the rim. That's a problem with this team, though, is I feel like if you don't have energy, Eric, wouldn't you be more likely to settle for a mid-range shot or a sidestep mid-range shot instead of trying to explode in the paint through contact? Mm-hmm. There's too many times where Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, and Damian Lillard shoot some mid-range crap. Dame can hit it, but this team is not going to the rim. And they only shoot 19 free throws tonight. Magic shot 25. Both these teams are good at getting to the free throw line, but the Magic shot 6 more free throws. The Blazers, they just did not, I don't know. There was plays that got in the paint, but a lot of it was in transition. Mm-hmm. The Blazers actually got out and ran in this game, which is why it would have been nice to keep playing the bench, because that's what was having success, was getting out and running with those guys. But in the end, I'm tired of the mid-range fadeaway stuff that Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant shoot. I'm tired of Shaedon Sharp getting ran off the three-point line and taking one dribble in and shooting a 19-foot 2-point shot when he's an athletic freak. Just try and get to the rim. We got too many guys that don't just try and get to the rim off the dribble. They'll settle for mid-range stuff. Sharp, Simons, Grant, and to a lesser extent Dame. Dame settles for threes more so than mid-range shots. Dame was 10 for 13 inside the arc, Eric. He was 2 for 12 from 3. Half his shots were threes, so.
It took a horrible 40-foot three in the first half too.
He's not hitting those threes. I know in the past he's hit those threes, but yeah, he has to do a better job at knowing picking his shots.
Yeah, and I don't know. Some of his decision making has not been good this year, and that's not something that we should be talking about with Dame. He's averaging the highest amount of turnovers by far of his career. He's just making some questionable reads out there. And then
problem, Eric.
Decision to pull up like that is also frustrating.
He was never taught to play the right way. Mm. I'm not saying the way he's played is wrong or bad, but the thing is how has he played his entire career, at least since Aldridge left? What has it been? It's been, okay, we're going to give Dame the ball on the perimeter, spam pick and roll, spam ISO, and everybody's going to stand around, but he knows where all his guys are, right? Like, he knows where all his options are, and it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to try and score, and then if I don't score, I'll kick out, I'll make a play, I'll make a dump-off pass, I'll, whatever. And he knows where all his guys is. Or if they would run a set into it, they'd run that flare screen, they run it so much, like, he knows where all his guys are. The problem is he was never taught to play in freelance. But that's why, in the playoffs, he would struggle so much, because teams would take him out of stuff, and it's easier to defend isolation, and he'd have horrible playoff series. It wasn't because he wasn't good, it was because of the way defenses are, A, allowed to play defense in the playoffs. They're allowed to be more physical. B, the type of offense he always ran doesn't work for that. Now we come in this season and we're trying to move the ball more. We're trying to have guys cut more. We're trying to play better out of freelance. And all of a sudden he looks like he doesn't know what to do or what read to make. But the problem is, he was never taught how to play in an offense that emphasized being able to play the proper way when you're not in a set play.
Yeah, well, part of it is he's just making... I don't know, like some of his passes are like literally cross-court right to another defender, and those
he gets stuck.
Yeah, those just can't happen. And unfortunately tonight he wasn't... good on the defensive end either. For all those criticizing Anthony, Ant was actually really good on defense in this game.
And had 7 assists and only 1 turnover for a team that's been struggling to turn over the ball. Like, everything other than missing threes was fine for Ant.
Yeah. So I don't get... I mean, yeah, it sucks that Ant is shooting terribly from 3 lately, but
we know he's a good to great 3-point shooter. I just don't understand these people that come in our chat after a game like this where we shoot 6 for 35 from 3 and only shoot 17%, and they say, get rid of our best 3-point shooter and we'll get better. Watch.
Yeah.
What was the problem tonight? We couldn't hit a freaking 3. How is getting rid of our best shooter going to help in a game like this?
In terms of Dame, Chris Brandlin with a $5 donation. Thank you, Chris. Losing sucks and we got a lot of work to do, but spewing venom on our best players helps nothing. You can criticize the team and still support Rip City. Yeah, the other thing I want to say about Dame, so I saw this in chat too, like people saying, like, he's better off elsewhere, like trade him so he can have the ending to his career that he needs, all that stuff. One, Dame wants to be here, and 2, it's not like the Denver series where he scores 55 and it gets no help, right? It's like, I mean, he's contributing to some of the problems right now with his turnovers and shot selection and stuff. So he also should recognize that this is not a case like it has been in previous years where he's absolutely doing everything he can to carry this team and no one else is helping him. So I don't feel like that's the case right now. So yeah, I just think like when you're like Dame, I mean, you're going down with the ship. So like, he's not going to blame others and want out of here all of a sudden because, like he's not playing as great as he could play either.
Bro, I am so tired of these freaking morons that think they speak for him. You know how much adversity this dude has gone through in his life? But the first sign of adversity or, we've been dealing with a rough stretch here for a month or a month and a half, which we've dealt with before. But all these freaking morons that think they speak for him, the moment adversity hits, they say he deserves to not have to deal with this adversity. When Dame's mindset is like, okay, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it. We're going to take this adversity head on, take the challenge head on, and try and figure things out. Whether we succeed or fail, we're going to take adversity head on instead of running from it. That's why he's still here in Portland. What is wrong with y'all? That's why he's here, is because he doesn't run from adversity. So how, as a Blazer fan, are you saying he should run from adversity? He deserves to not have to deal with this, and we're wasting his prime, and we said we're so bad. We should trade him to somewhere he doesn't want to go. That'll be good for him. We'll freaking backstab him in regards to the loyalty that he's shown this franchise and the adversity that he's willing to grind through, whether we win a championship or not. But no, he deserves to not deal with that despite he wants to be here. What are y'all talking about? Dame haters piss me off because they're so clueless. It's like they think that they speak for this man. They think they know what's best for this man or what this man should want, which goes against everything he said that he wants for 10 years here. Are you guys freaking 12 years old and start watching the team 2 years ago? Have you guys not watched this dude for an entire decade? Like, are these recent fans that are saying it? Because if you've been a fan of this team since 2012, when we drafted Damian Lillard, there's no way you should be sitting here talking like that. Because it's absolutely clueless. Freaking pisses me off, man.
And apparently people missed his Instagram post from today, in which he posted a dry erase board that said, "Grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release oil. Seeds grow in duress. Whenever you feel crushed, under pressure, pressed, or in darkness, you're in a powerful place of transformation. Trust the process." He literally posted that this morning. It's so stupid.
Dude, like, seriously, man, I am so baffled as to the way people respond to adversity. Like, they're so soft. Too many fans of this team. Like, I understand that this team is hard to root for. I understand the pain. I understand the frustration. I'm frustrated as hell with this team right now. But at some point, it's like, okay, this team is dealing with a bad stretch. What's the best way to respond to it? Is it to sit here crying on Twitter and saying Dame should leave, even though Dame doesn't want to leave? Or is it to, okay, well, let's try and figure this out, and if we don't, well, at least just try. Give it our best shot. We'll figure it out. If not, whatever. Like, let's try, though. Hopefully this team figures it out. Like, dude, it's I don't know, man. Like, there's people that, I won't watch the team for months. Okay, don't then. Since you can't handle the team when it's down, don't watch. But then come back and say you're a diehard fan when they're winning. Right? Because those people will say, yeah, I'm a diehard Blazer fan. I'm a big-time Blazer fan. But they'll tweet out how they're done watching and done with the team and not going to pay attention to the team and done watching us because the team sucks. And I get to see, oh yeah, Tori, we know you put a lot of work into what you do for this channel, but I'm done watching because I can't handle the team. But you'll be back when they win. Like, come on, man. It's adversity. Like, how would Dame handle adversity? Dame would try and rise to the challenge. We're fans of a freaking basketball team. It's a basketball team. It's a freaking sport. It's entertainment. Or it's pain. But it's not adversity like you guys pointed out as. Like, as not... When I say you guys, I'm also talking about a few people. I'm not talking about the general chat and everybody in it. This is at... You guys know who this is directed at. I mean, the team sucks right now. It is what it is. They'll figure it out or they won't. We'll see what happens coming to the trade deadline. Maybe we're talking about, hopefully we can move up from 12th in the lottery to get Wembanyama. And if not, then we're talking prospects again. Like, whatever. Or they figure it out and we can have some fun again. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, there's several good wings that could help us, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah. Guess what? This is what it's like to be most NBA teams. It's to struggle like this. Most sports teams struggle like this and can't get to the peak, can't get to the top. I've been a Mariners fan for freaking 20 years, and I got to see their first playoff series, first playoff games ever this year.
I think Mute That Bozo puts it well. It's the fact that, like, because last year, you know, like, I mean, it was obvious, you know, Dame's trying to fight through an injury, and it's just like, man, just get the surgery. This team isn't going anywhere. But, like, this team this year has shown the ability to be really good, and I think that makes it even more frustrating for people to watch them just suck it up for the last few weeks, or they
overachieved to start the year.
Yeah, but
because those guys, dude, like Grant was shooting 50%, Sharp was shooting almost 50%.
But overachieving still is like getting your hopes up. Like, that's still
absolutely.
Part of the
I got my hopes up. Like, I got my hopes up as well. I posted a video with contenders in the thumbnail.
Well, I mean, we win some of these games if Dame and Ant aren't struggling mightily right now, right? So,
like, how many close losses do we have? It's not like there's even that much of a difference. It's just they can't pull out a game right now. They cannot win a close game right now, is what it is. And that's because their offense isn't good enough to win. And it's not like they're going to get like 12 stops in a row. But their defense has been good in fourth quarters, but the offense has been absolutely terrible, and that's because of legs. Like, everything comes back to these guys are being overplayed, to me. Because, A, the bench sucks. B, Chauncey is trying way too hard to win individual games that it's cascaded into an avalanche effect. Right? Like, now it's an avalanche, and we lose. Close game after close game after close game because we have no legs at the end of games. That's what it is. I mean, but the problem is there's no fix outside of finding a better bench.
And I mean, Dame has shown, multiple seasons that, post All-Star break, they are capable of playing better and going on a run. Now, whether that's enough for some people or not, and hopefully that's coming. But, this team isn't done. Like, they've been in this situation multiple years and found their way out of it, as long as there's not major injuries, knock on wood. But
the defending champs today have Steph Curry back. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, Draymond Green starting lineup. They're healthy. Iguodala even freaking played. They're at home against the Phoenix Suns, who started Dwayne Washington, Torrey Craig, Mikal Bridges, Dario Saric, and Bismack Biyombo. Off the bench, they got Damian Lee, Jock Landale, Josh Okogie, and Ish Wainwright. And Golden State lost by 12. They were down 19 going into the fourth. This Magic team's better than them. Like, that's the defending champs. Healthy. Healthier than we are right now. And, they're 20-21. Like, I don't know, but like everybody with them is like, oh, well, they'll figure it out. And with us, it's like, oh, well, we just suck. We're terrible. I don't know, man. Like, I have more trust in Golden State figuring it out, but you're halfway through the season, 41 games for them, and they're 20-21. Like, the Phoenix Suns, who were the 1 seed last year, are 21-21 because they've been injured. Like, I don't know. The West is a complete mess. That's why I've been preaching patience. But the problem is this team has to figure out how to win some games soon, and these are the types of games you got to win against a subpar team that was 5-14 on the road coming into tonight. That's why this is such a terrible loss. And now you got Cleveland and Dallas twice in a row coming up at home. That's some tough matchups, and it's not like you have 2 days of rest in between them, so I am not optimistic going into any of those games. But wouldn't it be the Blazers' thing to, like, win 2 of those next 3 games, and then they're, then all of a sudden we're like, oh, well, look at this upcoming stretch. We have some easier teams, and we're finally getting right, and we're finally figuring things out, and we're still 2 games behind 5th. Like that, I could see that from this team. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The Golden State comparison, they've, they're now below 500 again, I believe.
I'm just saying they suck too.
Yeah, I think Suns are 500 or a game under 500 too. But they won a championship. They won 4 titles. Like, yeah. I don't think.
Well, they both suck right now, and we
right.
suck. Like, we're in all 3 of these teams are in the same boat.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I don't know. Just the way we're playing is more frustrating to me than anything. It's just like, I don't know.
Yep. So you want to know Eric, if you were going to guess a player that owns up and takes accountability for his own play tonight, I don't know if you've seen it. Let me know if you have. But if you were to guess who steps up and takes accountability for some bad play today, you would guess Dame?
No, I actually would think it was multiple Blazers. So, like, Dame and Jeremy in particular.
Well, if you had to guess who, like, in the postgame press conference stepped up and, like, gave me, like, I've got to be better.
Well, I know Dame says we have to be better, referring to the starters. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But
no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about everyone's favorite punching bag, Yusuf Nurkic, said, quote, "These turnovers, man, I've got to own it. It's hurting my team. It's not there. It starts with me. I can't have 5 turnovers per game. It's hurting my teammates way too much." So shout out to Nerk for stepping up and taking accountability and admitting that he needs to be better because he was pretty sloppy tonight and has been sloppier lately. But obviously it's not just him, but he's owning it. That's the type of attitude you want. He could sit here and say, well, we suck and Dame should be traded. I want to say goodbye to Dame now. Nah. No, gotta be better. And this is coming. What did Nerk shoot tonight?
Well, it's like all the people who are saying like Grant's not going to want to sign an extension too. Like, I mean, he's not playing great in this stretch either. Like, he's not going to be like, oh, my teammates suck, I'm out of here. Like, no, he wants to help solve the problem too. That's the whole reason he was brought here.
I mean, if he runs because of a bad month,
right? Then we don't want
play.
Yeah.
Like, then do you want that dude?
No.
Then we should be looking to trade that guy at the deadline. But here's the thing. He left Denver off of Western Conference Finals to go play in Detroit. So, like, he wants to play with Dame. Don't worry about Jeremy Grant. Like, that's the thing. Why are we worrying about completely made up, like, stuff that you don't know? Like, why are we worrying about Jeremy Grant leaving in July?
I mean, maybe the worse he plays, the more likely he is to accept the
exactly
extension.
Like, yeah, he is more likely to get extended earlier instead of chasing a max. Like, why are we worrying about that? There's so many things to worry about being a fan of this team, but it's like we want to worry about the most out there stuff that's 6 months down the line. Like, I'll worry about that if he doesn't sign the extension and gets to it and it comes to free agency, but everybody's worried about, like, Simons, is he going to get the max? Is Nurkic going to leave because he hates Dame now or something? And which isn't true, but, he hates Dame now and doesn't want to be here. That's why we need to trade him at the deadline. Oh, we kept him. Oh, that's going to be bad. And then Nurkic resigns. Now everybody's saying that about Josh Hart. Watch. Like, if we keep Josh Hart, I bet you he's back in a Blazer uniform next year. I doubt Josh Hart leaves in free agency. Like, let's not worry about that stuff. Let's just worry about this team as is. Like, at this point, I'm just going in game by game. I'm not worrying about who we play in February, who makes the All-Star team, who leaves in July. Like, just not. I don't know. I can't handle worrying about all that type of stuff. I don't know how y'all handle worrying about all that type of stuff.
Yeah, OG and John Collins aren't happening. This team isn't going to trade Sharp, and it would take at least that plus a lot of other things, and we're not doing any of that for either of those players. So, unfortunately, I mean, we love OG on this team. He would solve a lot of the problems, but that's just not probably going to be a realistic option.
Yep.
And we don't even know if Toronto's going to trade him either. And then I've seen several questions about Cam Reddish since his asking price is only 2 seconds. One, we don't have the room. We're not going in the tax for Cam Reddish. Two, he does nothing to solve any of our problems. So
Cam Reddish is so overrated.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of everybody wanting Cam Reddish every time there's any rumor about him. Like, what is he shooting from 3 right now? There's a reason he's not playing. Why does... Okay, somebody in chat who wants Cam Reddish, why do you actually want Cam Reddish? What can he do that'll fix our problems right now? Like, what would he have done in a game like this where we shoot 6 for 35 from 3? And, I don't understand. Like, somebody please tell me why you want him, because I do not understand.
Tori literally just read that comment. DJ Vega asked, can Josh opt out and would we have his early bird rights? Yes, he can opt out. It's actually a mutual option. So if he does opt out, we can offer him, I think it's like $22.5 million per season. So yeah, look, I mean, I don't see him getting that much in free agency. So we'll have by far the best contract offer for him. He might even sign closer to that same amount just for longer years. But yeah, I think I'm not really worried about him leaving since we do have his early bird rights.
So people want Cam Reddish because he has raw talent that has yet to be developed after 4 years in 2 different teams. A.K.A. Mario Hezonja, Nick Stauskas, yay. Glimpses of defense. What? He can be 3-and-D if given the chance. He's played in 20 games. He's shooting 3 threes a game at 30%. For his career in 24 minutes a game, in 153 games, he's shooting 4 threes per game at 32%. Why do people just assume, oh, well, you bring him here and he'll just start making threes at 37%? Like, why does him coming to Portland make him a good three-point shooter when he wasn't in Atlanta or New York? I don't understand. Like, I'm legitimately confused. I'm hoping somebody explains it, because I have never understood the Cam Reddish love. You don't quit on a talent like that because of 4 seasons. What do you mean he's a talent? If he was a talent, wouldn't he be showcasing some talent?
Yeah, and why, if it's only a 2 second-round picks to get him, why wouldn't a team like OKC or something like that, who has like 8 million second-round picks, just realize that talent and get him for nothing right now and get him, right?
Atlanta gave up on him. Atlanta gave up on him. New York traded a first for him, and now they're like, oh, we'll take 2 seconds. They're basically giving up on that and willing to trade him a year later for less value after not playing him. Like, bro, there's a reason he's not playing. Like, Tibbs has played quickly and Obi a bit. Like, I know Tibbs is against young players, but dude, like, I'm so tired. Okay, this is something that a lot of NBA fans do too much. Like, every fan base has this type of fan where it's like a dude was a big time high school name, goes to a big time college, and then gets drafted in the lottery and doesn't pan out. And like 4 years down the line, people are like, oh, well, he's a talent. He just needs to be developed. He just needs the right situation. He just needs the right coach. He just needs to play. He just needs this. He just needs that. Guess what? If he was as talented as you think he is, that would have won out and he wouldn't be needing all these perfect conditions to be anything.
We have several of those players on.
We might as well trade for Kevin Knox, too. At this point, I don't understand, man. He's just, Cam Reddish just is not good. And like, maybe he can figure it out. I'm not saying he can't figure it out, but like, I would not bet on it. 4 years is 4 years. That's a long time. And he's playing in practice. Like, a lot of these coaches make decisions based on what they see in practice. If he was in there cooking everybody in practice, I'm sure Tibbs would play him. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, people are blaming Tibbs for not playing him, but he wasn't playing in Atlanta for all these same reasons. So that's not Tibbs. Was he the problem in Atlanta too? Was Tibbs secretly the coach of Atlanta before? Did I miss something?
Yeah, and occasionally there is a guy that pans out, but there's a comment that says, we said this about Bol too. If Cam Reddish was 7 feet tall with like a 7'9" wingspan, then sure. And could do the stuff off the dribble that we all knew like Bol had a chance to do, then sure. Like, but Cam Reddish is not Bol. You gotta come up with a better comparison with that. But that's the thing, is like everybody remembers the guy that works out. They don't remember the 5 guys that faded off into obscurity. Nobody thinks about Kevin Knox. They think about Bol because, he turned it around.
DJ Vegas, can we trade for Cam Reddish now using our TPE and then retrade him at the deadline? Yes, technically you could, but once again, we'd be right up against the hard cap. So we'd basically just be taking Cam Reddish on and having to trade him for a similar contract and couldn't really go much above that. You couldn't combine his contract with anything, just like the TPE, because there's not 60 days between now and the deadline. So that wouldn't make much sense. We'd basically be like making it so we for sure can't make a trade at the deadline because of the hard cap.
Yeah, there's a comment that said Cam did show flashes. He scored 27 in a conference finals game versus the Bucks. Well, Myers Leonard scored 27 in a conference finals game.
Was that 32 or something?
Yeah, it was more than 27. So
I think he had 25 in like one quarter.
Yeah, like, come on, man. We got to get... he did. He had one good game 2 years ago. Trade for him.
Well,
really?
I mean, like, okay. Let's just, like, separate two things. We're not saying, like, Cam Reddish is totally lost. But what this team, I think, needs... Instead of someone that's like raw potential that you're hoping you get the most out of, I think we actually need someone who can do those things right away.
Yeah.
And so that's where I draw the line. So I'm not saying, I mean, for 10, 15 teams, like Cam Reddish, I think makes a lot of sense. But for the Blazers in particular right now, I don't think just adding someone like that, unless you're like convinced with your scouting department that guy's the answer. And if that was the case, I mean, we would have already given up 2 seconds for him if that's the cost for him. So yeah. I don't really think that they're looking at him right now.
Well, somebody brought up Anthony Simons, but the thing is Simons progressed his 4 or 5 years. He progressed. And he could always shoot the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Right. At least he had a bankable skill, which was shooting the ball. What bankable skill does Cam Reddish have? It's not 3-point shooting. Like, he's a career 45%er from 2. He's finishing a little better this year, but it's a small sample size. Like, for his career, like, Cam Reddish hasn't progressed. He's not getting any better.
Rip City 208 says, then name some players, Eric, like I haven't named, like, every single show. I mean,
you need a whiteboard behind you, and you can just write down names, and then it should just be plastered behind you.
Yeah.
So that people who didn't hear you name names in the past can just look, names.
Like, I mean, there's a group of players that if we got one of them, I think it helps, and I've named them on several streams. You need like a Caleb Martin, a PJ Washington, a Rui Hachimura, one of those guys who's actually established.
Kenrick Williams, please.
Yeah, or if you need a shooter, you work it out with Phoenix because they don't want to pay Cam Johnson, so you steal him from them. And then there was a name that I hadn't really considered until this morning. This guy would be absolutely perfect, both defensively. Shooting's okay, like good enough in my mind. Contract-wise, though, we could probably do it and stay under the tax, and he has a contract that jumps next year, but it's not a poison pill. And that's Terrence Mann. I hadn't really thought about that, but that's a guy I think the Blazers could maybe get. He hasn't had the greatest year. The Clippers are like floundering right now. They've lost 6 in a row. A lot of things are going bad there. He could play small forward, so maybe that's someone who could maybe that's someone you could consider trading Hart for someone that's locked up multiple years, and you could get something else in that trade from another team maybe, because Hart makes $13 million and Mann only makes 1.9 this year. But I mean, Mann is a wing. I don't know what people are saying.
You know who we should trade for him? Norman Powell and Robert Covington.
Well, I mean, what if you could get Mann and
we should go to him like, we did you a favor last year. Can you do one for us?
Yeah. If you could get like Batum and Mann for Hart or something.
I mean, I'd do Hart for Batum. I don't know actually, but Batum would be awesome. But I don't think Batum's gettable.
Well, I mean, he's not playing that much either.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, that's the problem.
The thing is, they're probably going to want savings because they're $42 million over the tax.
All these players play like the same position as Kawhi and PG. So if they're healthy, they have no room to play like Rocco and Batum and Mann all at the same time. So like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's the name I hadn't considered. I don't know how much it would take to get him, but much like I've talked about with Daniel Gafford, if you could get both Gafford and Mann, and then those guys bump up in salary, and then you'd have 2 big contracts to trade this offseason when all your picks become available or whatever, like that to me would be a home run. It doesn't seem like a lot, but I feel like that would be pretty cool, because then this summer when we talk about, whether if you like OG or John Collins or even Pascal Siakam, you could maybe get in the conversation of giving up 3 first, future first, and pick swaps and a bunch of like a Donovan Mitchell type offer without having to give up one of your top 3 players. So yeah, that's I don't know. Like that makes a lot of sense to me, even if you have to overpay a little bit to get him, and you might be able to stay out of the tax this year. I think that would be a home run, but I think that would be better than just going and getting Cam Reddish, who's a free agent this offseason, and who knows, what's going to happen and all that kind of stuff.
I'm muted. The most obvious guy to go out and get is Kenrich Williams. It's the most obvious guy. Like I know like they could obviously keep him, but they got a ton of wings. They got Jalen Williams, who's been good this year as a rookie. Ousmane Dieng, they took in the lottery. They're probably going to want to get him sometime at some point. Josh Giddey, SGA, Lou Dort, Trey Mann is a guard off the bench. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins are both solid, like kind of under the radar players. I mean, honestly, like I wouldn't hate taking a chance on an Aaron Wiggins, if he was like easily gettable. Isaiah Joe was gettable, and Thunder picked him up for basically nothing, and he's been a really good shooter this year.
Anyone could have signed him. Yep.
Yeah, like
scoring off the bench would be nice, right?
Yeah, like he's been solid. So I mean, but with all those guys, you would think that Kenrich Williams doesn't really fit their timeline. He makes $2 million this year, and then a contract extension kicks in, but it's not a poison pill. So you could get him for like, I don't know, I'd trade Keon for him. Right now. Kenrich Williams is 28 years old, so it doesn't really fit their timeline. But he's shooting 54% from the field right now in 22 minutes a game. He's averaging 7.5 points per game, shooting 54% from the field. 60% from 2, 43% from 3. His true shooting percentage right now is 62%, and he plays defense.
Yeah, decent.
Like, give me that guy, please. Like, I would start Kenrich Williams and bring Josh Hart off the bench if we got Kenrich Williams. Now, Kenrich Williams has played off the bench this year and played good, so maybe you want to mess up that role, but like he can defend on the ball about as well as Josh Hart can, I think.
Yeah.
That's the guy I want. Like, I'd do Keon, I'd maybe even toss it a second, and then you figure out the rest.
Oh, Chad Coe is asking if we can explain the first-round pick situation. So last year, if you guys remember, we were tanking, right? And the reason for that is if we missed the playoffs, the pick stayed here in Portland. We got to keep it. And then the same thing transfers over to this year. So now this year again, make the playoffs. That pick goes to Chicago. That trade is finally done. And we no longer owe Chicago anything. So therefore, at the conclusion of that draft, we'd have all our future picks from 2024 to 2030 at that time to be able to trade in trades. You can't trade like consecutive year ones, but we could trade a 24, a 26, a 28, and a 30. So we could possibly offer 4 first-round picks and 3 pick swaps and Sharp or Ant. Like we have a really tough offer to beat if a star becomes available this year that's worth going all in for. Now, if we miss the playoffs again, the same protections just transfer to the next year. It just keeps going all the way through 2028. So we can't trade any of our picks because if it's possible to happen within the protections, you can't trade it. So through 2028, it's possible that we don't make the playoffs any of those years, and the pick turns into 2 seconds in 2028. So it's just the first year between now and then that we make the playoffs, they get our pick, and we're done with the trade. If we keep missing the playoffs, we keep keeping the pick.
Yeah, making the playoffs this year, I mean, obviously you'd have like the 12th pick or whatever if we miss, so that would be nice. I mean, you could involve that in trades. But like if you wanted to trade future first this offseason, it's actually probably better to make the playoffs Now, granted, this is a super deep draft, but that's why it's like, oh, tank, keep our pick. Like, I don't think it's necessarily better, because if we make the playoffs and our pick conveys to Chicago this year, then starting in the offseason, we have all our future firsts. They're not backing up that protection anymore because the pick will have conveyed. The pick will have been basically sent to Chicago, so, you know, the 2024 first that it could turn into, or the 2025 first that it could turn into. It's not going to turn into those if it already gets sent to Chicago because we make the playoffs. So then you can trade 4 future firsts and protect them how you want without having to go to Chicago and be like, hey, so, you know, this first that we owe you that's protected by all our future firsts, can we change that because we want to do a trade? That's the problem. So that's where it's like, here's the thing. For everyone that screams tank or Wemby or this type of stuff, man, I mean, we've already won 19 games. Dame's not hurt. Dame's not going to want to sit out. These guys aren't going to want to sit out. There's no feasible route to tanking, and even if there was, we're not going to get good odds whatsoever. We're going to be sitting there with like the 10th pick or the 9th pick. I mean, we tanked half a season after Dame sucked and the team sucked to start the year, and we still only got the 7th pick. Right? So overall, the tank talk is frustrating. And it's like, if the team sucks as bad as people say it does, then aren't we kind of tanking right now? So overall,
I mean, if it happens naturally, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't outright do it.
It doesn't logically make sense because A, it's not going to turn into Wembanyama. B, it's not really a feasible plan. Like Dame's help, like. These guys want to take this adversity head on. Good luck keeping Jeremy Grant if you say, like, yeah, we're tanking the rest of the year. Then that actually becomes a concern about him leaving, right? Like, it's just not the right path. So overall, you got to try and get better this year. And the bench is a problem. The starters are inconsistent, but that could be because they don't have a ton of energy or guys that you can sub in for them that can keep up a high level of play if a starter's struggling. So, I mean, just fix the bench, see where this team goes, and hopefully you turn it around. If not, then if we miss the playoffs, then yeah, okay, well, hopefully the 1% or 0.5% chance that the number 1 overall pick we get with having the 14th pick turns out well for us, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
But Kenrick Williams is the name I really like. Jaden McDaniels is a guy I'd look at. I mean, that's the thing. There's a number of bench guys. Just depends on which one you can get for a good price.
Mike Ferg 503, go back like 20 minutes and listen. We talked about Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish, dude. I won't even say Cam Reddish is better than Nasir Little. Nasir Little's better than Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is
even hurt.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Cam Reddish ain't fixing anything, man. Why do we keep wanting these guys that shoot like 30% from 3? I want guys that can play some defense and knock down a shot. That's what I want. I don't want guys that, oh, well, he can kind of play defense sometimes and he doesn't make a shot usually, but, 2 years ago he made some shots in one game in the conference finals. Like, that's not what I want. I don't want speculative value. Reddish is not worth the flyer. He makes $6 million. You're going into the tax. Jody ain't gonna want to do that. So what? You're giving up Nas for him, or you're giving up Hart for him, or you're giving up like Winslow and Keon Johnson for him? Like,
we can't give up Nas or Winslow for him. And then, yeah, I mean, most of those trades
like we have a trade
would put us in the tax.
It's like, you got to aim higher with that because Cam Johnson ain't fixing anything. We shot 6 for 35 from 3 tonight. Our bench scoring is a major problem. Cam Johnson doesn't fix that. We went on this talk a while ago. If you want to hear the rest of that talk, rewind like 20 to 30 minutes because, yeah, Cam Johnson just ain't the answer at all to any of our problems.
Later, Jakob.
Did Jakob, you said I missed a dono earlier. I messaged you on Discord, and you never messaged me back. I was wanting to read it out. So, yeah, unfortunately, you weren't able to check it, I guess. I don't know. But he said at the start of the stream we missed a dono, Eric. And I was, like, worrying about the graphic. And
I mean, I started reading out the donations that I saw right away. I didn't see any other than that first one I read out. But okay. We're sorry if we missed one, Jakob.
Yeah, he also gifted a Blazers Uprise membership, so thank you, Jakob, for that. Appreciate it. Yes, it does matter, Jakob. Just let me know what you said, and I'll read it off. I want to give you your flowers for donating, man. And thank you for gifting a Blazer Uprise membership. I have to figure out how to work that, because this is only the second time we've been gifted a membership. Because Jackson did it that one time. Shout out Jackson, man. I haven't seen him in a while. Anyway, thank you, Jakob, for gifting a membership. And and we owe you a message read off or something. Anyway, what did Gary Payton do is a question. What do you mean, what did he do? He played basketball
in this game. He came in, had some good defensive moments, but also had several fouls and 2 turnovers.
Basically, he's not going to be reffed the same way he was reffed in Golden State, and he's going to have to figure that out.
Yep.
Anyway. But that's the thing. If he's playing with better offensive players off the bench and better defensive players, like, he's going to look better. When our bench sucks, it's going to be like, oh, well, he's locking this guy up, but he just passes to somebody who scores.
Yeah, those 2 technicals would be nice not to have. Yeah. Oh, Tori, hey, can you load my play? I wanna show you guys something. In a 1-possession game, I am furious about this.
Oh boy. Is it who I think it is?
What?
Is it who I think it is?
What do you mean? Is it?
I don't even know who I think it is. I'm just like, maybe it's Eubanks did something bad again. That's my guess.
I just want. I don't know. I mean.
Okay, well, we'll find out. We got a free throw. Oh yeah, they got the board on this. I looked away for this play.
All right. So, real quick chat. We have 4 players in this picture here, right? It's Grant, Peyton, Ant, and Lillard, right? Okay. Do you guys know who our 5th guy in the game right now is? Does anyone know?
Wasn't it Eubanks?
It was Drew Eubanks, yes.
Huh. Where was he?
Why is he not rebounding here? Why do we only have 2 people rebounding? Where the hell is Eubanks? Where is Eubanks?
Was Chauncey talking to him?
Nope. They showed they showed the baseline. They showed the baseline camera from right under the basket. He was right behind Cole Anthony talking to Dame. Okay? We only have 2 people on the ring. 1-possession game. We have 2 people boxing out. They have 2 bigs in there, Banchero and Wagner going in here, right? Okay? Mm-hmm. 1-possession game. They get the rebound because Gary Payton, Wagner just grabs the ball over the top of him. Okay, he does his best to try and box him out. So go to the next slide. Yep. Wagner grabs the ball. Okay. Still no Eubanks there. He's still not in there, right? Still not. Okay, go to the next slide.
There he is.
There's Eubanks. He came in the play. Okay. Yay. He got back inside the 3-point line. Good job, Drew. Okay, go to the next slide.
All right.
What is Drew doing? Why is he out pressed up on Paul Banchero 35 feet from the hoop? Why is he not back where he can help on Dame right now?
Hey, because Paulo Banchero got Dame range, man. Or
he
something,
literally,
at least in Eubanks' mind.
The last slide, okay? The last slide before this, right? You saw him go inside the 3-point line?
Yeah.
He literally sprinted out 35 feet from the hoop to guard Banchero out there. And he's not
that's good energy.
Right? He's not denying. Like, it'd be one thing if he was like, hand up, let's deny this pass so Banchero cannot get the ball and Terrence Ross has to shoot, right? Let's do that. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, but no, he just stands there. And then, so, Dame just gets back down or I guess that's Fultz, not you, Ross. But anyways.
I like the same hair.
anyways, like the last play is just, the last picture is just, Dame played decent defense on this. Fultz hits a shot, but like
Eubanks isn't even watching the shot.
Yeah, but I mean, this is 2 points. He makes the shot. That's 2 points in this game. We wouldn't have had to foul possibly, at the end. Maybe it's a closer game. Maybe we have the lead late in the game. Little crap like this is inexcusable, whether that's coaching because Billups was talking to him or Dame was talking to him or whatever. There's no excuse for having two players on the free throw line and all that kind of stuff. So like this is just like absolutely pathetic of an NBA team to have this kind of stupid breakdown and cost yourself a possession in a really close game.
Yeah. Not to take anything away from any of that, but this was a 10-point deficit.
No, I know. I'm saying.
I thought you said it was a one possession game.
No, I'm saying we lose by one possession, right?
All this stuff matters, and this stuff really matters in the playoffs. Every possession matters. Like what the hell? Yeah, God damn, man. You know what that deserves? Let's go. I landed it.
But no, Eubanks' energy is like, I mean, it's completely second to none, man. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. He wasn't that bad this game. He wasn't. It wasn't even his fault. He's get by Wagner. He had to come in. He shouldn't even have had to come in because Chauncey should have freaking challenged the Nerk. Should have challenged the Nerk screen. So
Eubanks. I mean, it's just like every game. There's just something that's just so inexcusable. You can't get over it. Well, other people can, but like me and you can't get over it.
But what is he doing? He's our center. Why are you not rebounding? Like, why are you not in on the rebound and the free throw? Like, why?
Because he wants to be a guard. He doesn't want to rebound. He doesn't want to be the center in a lineup where he has to play down on the block on a free throw. He wants to be like a guard, standing behind the free throw with his hands on his knees.
I guarantee you, too. Once that free throw went up, he started heading down towards offense. I guarantee you, if we could have seen him on the camera, I guarantee you he would have been past half court by the time he realized that we didn't get the rebounds.
I don't know why he wouldn't be. I don't know why he would expect us to get the rebound when we got 6'2" GP2 against 7' Mo Wagner on the lane.
Yeah, and then we wonder why our bench comes in and we give up like 3 offensive rebounds on 2 possessions in a row, and like we're.
But if GP2 just got that rebound, Eric, we would have really seen Eubanks high energy with him sprinting down the court and dunking the ball hard.
Yeah. It's Nerk's fault somehow.
Nerk would have been just standing there lazily grabbing the rebound, not trying hard for it, and not playing with energy. So that's what it is.
So David Lester says, "I was there. That is a fact." Thanks, David.
Oh my God! I honestly,
this is why we get punked by the Magic at home.
Yeah, if we continue to suck, I'm just gonna watch this game like looking for things to laugh at, which is better than looking for things to be mad about, because obviously this game freaking sucked. But this type of stuff is just comical, and Drew Eubanks is comical, man. I just. That's so funny. I love that you showed that, because I looked away for that play. I didn't even notice that live when it happened. So,
I was like, because at the first free throw, right? Like Dame's talking to Eubanks right behind Cole Anthony there. So it's like, okay, like it's first free throw, doesn't matter. And then like I'm watching and it's like, wait, Gary Payton's and Jeremy are down low. Like where's the third guy? Where's Eubanks? Like why didn't he come back in after the first free throw? Like it's one thing to talk at the first free throw, but like man,
Connor says, Tori, you should spend a whole game just watching Eubanks. Connor, I don't know if I'd ever want to watch basketball again if I spent a whole game watching Drew Eubanks. I can't stand Eubanks, man. He's just not. There was like multiple plays guys just drove right at him and finished right at him in this game too. Like, I know, like, I don't understand why. I mean, I understand why Eubanks gets the rim protector label and Nurkic doesn't. But Nurkic blocked a dunk today. I mean, I felt like every time they went at Eubanks, like, it wasn't really, I don't know, like he had a block once, or I don't know how many blocks he had. I don't know. I just don't really see the advantage that people think Eubanks has protecting the rim. Eubanks had one block today, and Nurkic had 2, and Nurkic also had 4 steals. And Nurkic was 7 for 14 from the field, but he was 6 for 10 inside the arc, 60% solid. 1 for 4 behind the arc. Would like for him to make 2 of those 4 instead of 1, but whatever. 9 free throws, made 7 of them. Yeah. The turnovers were bad, but Nurkic was very solid today.
He started off rough.
Yeah,
it was a bad start. He came back in his second stint, was really good.
It's just that inconsistency that he had. Like that everybody talks about.
I mean, no one's going to say he had a great game. Even he said he needs to be better. So,
well, he is solid. I wouldn't say he was terrible or this turnovers aren't solid. Everything else I thought like he was okay. I mean, decently efficient game, rebounded 4 offensive boards, had 4 steals, 2 blocks. Like defensively, I don't think he was the issue. The problem is the Blazers. And here's the thing. This is why I keep doing these game previews too. Is it's interesting to look at like rim rate, like basically how often opponents get to the rim and then what they shoot. Because for Portland, it's like they have one of the worst rates in terms of like they let opponents get to the rim a ton. Like they're terrible at stopping teams getting to the rim, but the percentage around the rim is like close to average. And it's like, that's everything me and you have seen in regards to Jusuf Nurkic, is like, he's having to deal and help on so many plays, and he's not like the best rim protector in the league or anything, but he's not bad. Just because they're scoring at the rim, teams are scoring in the paint, it's not necessarily a Nurkic problem. Like, you can't stop every single drive that your perimeter defenders give up during a game. He does a decent, like he does an average job of stopping it. But that's the thing is normally when a team's able to get downhill and into the paint a ton, normally you would think they're probably going to shoot a higher percentage because, it's not like they're driving against a perimeter player and have them in the picture. Like a lot of times it's just clean blow-bys. So Nurkic is not the problem defensively. The problem is we can't contain dribble penetration. I mean, we're still an average defense right now. But it's a problem when you go up against big forwards because it's easier for those guys to finish at the rim when they get going downhill. That's why like Siakam had a big game. Wagner had a big game today, was 12 for 20. Only 2 of those makes were threes. Like he was able to just drive right at the rim. We can't contain dribble penetration, but it's obviously easier for a big man to stop a guard coming right at him than somebody who's like 6'9" and as crafty as Franz Wagner is. So, yeah, I mean we got to contain dribble penetration better defensively, but I mean really, if we were playing up to our standard offensively, we would have won a number of these games we've lost lately.
And how many times in this game did Nurkic get stuck between having to stay on Wendell Carter and coming off of him to guard a ball handler going right down the lane? And that's like a pretty impossible situation against a good team.
And then people get mad at him when he like lets Wendell Carter Jr. shoot a pull-up 17-foot jumper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll live with that shot, We'll absolutely live with that shot. And he has to play off guys because he has to help because we give up too much dribble penetration. So...
a couple comments in chat. Happy birthday to Jake King. Hope you're having a good day outside of the Blazer game. But Rip City 28 asks, why does it seem Sharp has regressed since the start of the season?
Because he's not making as many threes.
Yeah, I think it was just it was an impossible thing to keep up for an entire season. I mean, unless he was just like the next LeBron or something, like that was never going to be the case. So we just got spoiled by him, playing or shooting the ball really well at the beginning of the season, and unfortunately, it's come back down to earth.
Yeah, he's still 35% on the season. I would have taken that heading into the year. But...
He didn't. I don't think he had a terrible game tonight. I thought he was okay.
He was a team leading +8.
Yeah. So, actually, I said earlier I would have liked to see him just keep those guys in there. Yeah, but I don't think it's regression. I just think this is who he was. He just happened to be hitting some crazy shots. And of course, if you get out on the break or you get opportunities to show off your athleticism around the rim, that's always going to be fun and exciting. But he also hasn't had a lot of those opportunities lately either.
Yep. In the future, I need to get my graphics back, especially team stats, because I keep doing these keys to the game for my previews, and it would be nice to talk about them while looking at team stats. But I had 3 keys to this game for the Blazers. One was win the free throw battle, because both these teams get to the free throw line at a high rate. The Magic won that. They shot 25 free throws. The Blazers only shot 19. Magic 20 makes, Blazers 16. So Magic win the free throw battle. It was win the turnover battle because both of these teams turn over the ball a lot, but both of these defenses also don't force many turnovers, and the Blazers had 17 total turnovers, the Magic 16. So didn't win that. And it was hold Banchero and Wagner to 40 points or less combined, and they combined for 48. So all 3 of the keys to the game were an L. Banchero and Wagner average 41 a game combined. So, yeah. XXX. I'll have to make a graphic. That sounded weird. X for each key. That's 3 X's for the 3 keys. Because I'm thinking of the graphic that I'd make, but I just sat here and said XXX. Yeah, don't Google that. Anyway. Yeah, I'll have to make a graphic for keys of the game that I can throw in the preview. Then I can throw in the postgame show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyway. Yeah, like I could put a check mark or an X along each key. That could be cool. That could be fun.
Jake Quinn says, how can we stop the bad turnovers? Is this a coaching thing or a player thing? Most likely a combination of both, but what side would you say owns the majority of the responsibility?
Players. Because, what's up, Brady? Guys just aren't in the right spots off the ball. Guys don't know how to, like, relocate beyond the three-point line. Like, a lot of times Dame will drive and somebody will help off the shooter in the corner and they'll have room to slide up to free throw line extended and they don't. Like, these guys just don't know how to they don't do the little things that good teams do playing off the ball. And a lot of times it's like when guys drive, defenses collapse and they don't have options. Some of it is they're taking one dribble too deep. Some of it is like 2 offensive players standing on top of each other. So one of those defensive players on them helps, and then the other one just guards both of them because they're next to each other and clog things up. It's just like you look at Dame, he doesn't have a ton of room to drive. Part of it is the bench doesn't have enough shooting on it. Part of it is Josh Hart doesn't shoot enough threes. We did get good threes in this game, I thought. Jeremy Grant got a bunch of quality looks, and he was 0 for 6. So in this sort of game, it's like, that's not turnover problem, but it's like, man, even with those turnovers today, 17 of them, like, you got some quality shots. Just 6 for 35 from 3 is just not good. Dame 2 for 12, Ant 2 for 9, Grant 0 for 6. You rely on those guys to make threes more than that. And all of those guys had generally efficient games inside the arc. Ant was 4 for 7 inside the arc. Dame was 10 for 13. Grant was 8 for 13. So they all had efficient games when they attacked the rim. The problem is they could not knock down a 3. Now, that's where it's just like, screw it, just to keep attacking the rim, because I thought they would have continued to have success there. That's my problem with Jeremy Grant, is he doesn't attack the rim enough, because he's a menace when he attacks the rim. But that's the thing is part of attacking the rim is driving in, collapsing defenses. Sometimes you don't have a shot. You got to be able to kick out of that, and that's the problem with the turnovers is guys not knowing where to be. So I'd put it on the players. What would you put it on there?
Yeah, I agree. It's mostly players. I do think they could do a better job of, like coaching how to get the proper angles when someone drives, depending on if they're driving baseline or driving down the middle of the paint, like having them set up better or like move to this spot off ball so he has the angle to pass to you instead of trying to pass through a defender or whatever. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of our turnovers are just players just making bad decisions and making bad plays. So I do think that's something that's got to be driving Chauncey crazy, because there's not a lot he can do to be like, Dame, don't turn the ball over or whatever, and have that happen. So I do think that's one of the biggest player faults of this season is the poor turnovers.
Yep. And in the end, we just hopefully Nas comes back soon. Hopefully Justice Winslow comes back. Like, we just need bodies at this point. And, as much as I criticize Justice Winslow, he's a body. Like, he's somebody you can play. They're out there for 15 minutes a game and might be able to play a little bit of defense and make a play for somebody, push the pace, which is what this bench lineup needs. And they had some success doing that today, and Justice Winslow can be a part of raising the tempo with that bench unit and being a ball handler and somebody that can make plays in transition. So, hopefully he's back soon. Hopefully not Nasir Little's back soon, so that you'll have these extra guys you can throw in there and get these starters minutes down, because I think that's the biggest problem plaguing this team right now is how much these guys are playing. Like, I don't know. It's basically just try and stay above 500 until the All-Star break. Then after the All-Star break, like, you get your rest, trade deadline upgrades for the bench, then maybe you can go on a run. The problem is this game would have gotten us back to a 500, and we lost it. Now we got Cleveland and then Dallas twice coming up, so like we got to start winning some games, or else it's going to be really, really bad. We've lost. We were 9-17 in our last 26 games, which is really, really bad, man. Really, really bad.
So Taylor Packer, I hadn't seen him most of the stream, but he came in and said, "I blame Tori and Eric for this team's struggle. They need to be better. It's that simple."
He's right.
Well, I mean, speak for yourself. I mean, no, actually,
I'm speaking for you.
No, I'm going to defend you. I'm going to defend you, Tori. You know why? Taylor, man, you missed it. Tori laid his hat on his little dresser back there and a water bottle. That's perfection right there. He's 2 for 2 tonight, and you can't blame Tori for that one. He nailed both of his tosses tonight. He also had a couple good rants, and for me, man, if you miss Brant's breakdown, I don't know what to tell you. I can't do better work than that. So that was my peak. I peaked tonight, and so it's just the wrong stream to come in late and miss that, man.
I know Taylor's just trolling. Taylor's taking the Taylor lately has taken the attitude of our biggest haters and is like mocking it, which is funny. But yeah, no, Taylor, where you been, man? Like, I'm disappointed. He came in when I said XXX. No surprise there. Even though I accidentally said XXX, it wasn't related to anything bad, but Taylor loves the sex bots that come in our comment section. So, we haven't seen any. I think YouTube's cleaning them up. So shout out to YouTube for that. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably clip that rant. I might have to clip a few things from the stream and upload them as shorts and or TikTok clips. You can follow our TikTok at BlazersUpriseYT. But yes, Taylor's always down horrendous, Connor. I agree.
It's time for you to make the noise banging that tape roll or whatever.
Was that? I was just rolling it. Was it loud? Oh. Anyway.
Well, be better than to watch on and off, Taylor. Jeez, man.
I don't know what chat is right now.
Yeah, not enough viewers for the sex bots, I guess.
This is the most viewers we've had for a stream in quite a while, you know. I guess like we can't lose against good teams or solid teams. We gotta lose against bad teams. We either gotta win a bunch of games or we gotta have a bunch of terrible losses. That'll give us the views.
Tyler K says, "You know it's bad when Tori is advocating for justice." Oh man.
I mean, what does the thumbnail say? So. You know it's bad when we're saying Willie Cauley-Stein's available. Yeah.
Oh man.
So your chat's advocating for Willie Cauley-Stein, and I wouldn't hate playing Willie Cauley-Stein over. I mean, Willie Cauley-Stein is basically Drew Eubanks. Taylor, trust me, it's not a bust. It might be the best breakdown of the season. Because... Dude, like, I feel like we don't go into post-game streams looking to pick on Drew Eubanks. Like, and people have gotten mad at me, like, Eubanks is so far from our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is Dame. Dame sucks. Like, I've gotten comments like that. I don't go into streams looking to pick on Drew Eubanks. I just talk about what I see. I literally am like, oh, I hope he doesn't mess anything up so I don't have to criticize him. Hopefully he plays well, and then... I mean, he played solidly today. Like, I didn't come into the stream criticizing Drew Eubanks at all, but that one particular play was unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can't ignore it. I mean, if that was Nerk, it would be a bunch of people on Twitter saying, "See, this is Nerk, not caring, playing with low energy, so low energy."
Well, Nerk wouldn't do that, so
I know. Nah, man. I mean, our problem. Yeah, we have a lot of problems. We have many issues, Eric. Many issues. Grant, welcome to my life. Grant Puffer.
Wemby season.
Huh? Shut up. I'll ban you.
What if I become tank person? Would that?
I mean, I'm sure it'd be entertaining for the people because I would absolutely hate it.
Would that be the final nail in your mental stability coffin?
All right.
I won't do it for you.
Stephen Vaughn, where you at? No, but Steven might say tank before you do. I don't know what Steven's going to say if we keep struggling. Steven's like, you have to consider trading Dame. And I was just, no. Because if you're tank season and he might be considered trading Dame, and I'm just going to be a wreck mentally if that's the case. So please don't. I have not gone on tankathon.com in months, and I don't plan on.
I did the other day. It was fun. I mean, the Blazers are this is the first time after Sunday's game where you could actually hit the little simulate lottery button and the Blazers have a chance to go up. It took me 28 tries to get Wemby, but yeah.
I bet you I can get Wemby in less tries.
Yeah, I bet you can. Let's do it.
All right, screw it.
Well, okay.
What do you want to put on the line?
No, we need a chat poll. Will Torrey get us Wemby in? Wait, do we have better odds now?
What was our odds last time?
We were second to last. 13th.
So that's 1%.
Yeah.
Now we got 1.8%. So what's okay? So that'd be like in.
We can just do 28. It's fine.
That'd be in like 17 tries.
All right. Let's
17 tries.
Let's do 20. Over under 20.
Okay, 20. Because that's my favorite number.
Chat poll. Over under 20 tries.
Fine. I
for
just
Portland
opened up
to get Wemby.
and I am not feeling good about seeing tankathon.com again.
I got screwed
right
after
now.
after my seventh try, but I mean, we might as well embrace it at this point, right?
Okay, screw it. All right. Well, welcome back to your favorite segment for all you tanking advocates. It's time to, I gotta open up a window capture. I don't have Tankathon saved anymore as an option on my stream. For a good reason.
Do a chat poll before you do that so we can get this lots of votes.
All right. 20 tries. All right, 20 tries for Wemby.
Dude, can you imagine November 10th, us 2 months from now without like a serious injury, us going on?
Well, Justice Winslow's out, so.
True.
Are you just trying to make me more upset right now? Is this just the part where you try and make me cry?
No, I'm not. Like I said, you didn't have to do this. I was gonna be nice and not.
I know, but like now I'm doing it. Now I'm finally. Okay, you got me to play along, and now you're like, yeah. Imagine if we were doing this when we were 10-4. You asshole.
Sorry.
It's unnecessary. I'm already doing it. Anyway, Tankathon. Oh my goodness.
Everyone vote.
Below the scoreboards.
So this is for those that don't know. So Tankathon has a button you click and it simulates the draft lottery and the percentage chance of everyone having it. So you can keep doing it until whatever team you want moves up into the top 4. But in this case, we're going for number 1 because, I mean, as cool as Scoot is, he makes a ton of sense for our team. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm not scoring up from the bottom. I'm not about to do that 20 times.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna simulate it.
Oh man, we're tied for 11th now.
Hey, let's go!
One time? What? Are you serious?
Let's go, baby. We got Wemby. All right, guys, I'm aboard the tanking train.
Dude, we gotta stay at 11th now. Yep, it's fate.
That's a sign. All right, I apologize to everybody that wanted us to tank.
Dude, we're gonna win a championship next year. Let's go. Don't win any more games.
Wemby and Nurk starting front court and Grant at the 3, and we're just gonna protect the rim, baby. Let's get it. All right, it's a fish. Oh God. Oh no. How do we get first try?
Dude, that just gave...
Screw all you haters that said over for 20 tries. Why do you guys
56%.
side with Eric instead of me, man? That's my... You haters. More people said I was... 55% of our chat said it was going to take more than 20 tries. It took 1.
Dude, this just is going to add fuel to all the people who say, like, it doesn't matter how small of a chance, we have to go for it. Yeah.
Can you imagine that lottery stream?
Dude. Yeah, one of the loudest I've ever cheered as a Blazer fan was when we won the 2007 lottery.
Yay, more bad memories. Cool. Yeah. I was happy for a second.
But like, that's more happier than like an actual game.
All right, well, cool. 28 tries it took you?
Yeah, but like I said, we were...
That sounds like a skill issue.
We were yeah, I know. Well, I mean, you're the one who did it all last year.
True. I have the experience. If Connor and Brady left, I'm gonna be disappointed because they love that reference. Anyway, Kieran, no, you were overusing it, man. See, I used it properly. Eric, you have no idea what we're talking about, but that's okay. Anyway, so I had better odds. I had 1.8%. Eric had 1%. Eric took 28 tries, so we lowered it to 20. All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn impressive. That was better than any like low odds tankathon sim we had last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Victor Wembanyama. I mean, but are all the same people that are so scared about drafting big men going to be scared about drafting him, Eric? Or is all the Chet Holmgren narratives from last year going to apply to Wembanyama?
I don't know.
No, he's generational talent. He'll be the best Blazer ever. Screw Dame. Narrative.
Taylor says if he started a Blazers Uprise post-game analysis show that started right after our stream, would we come on as guests sometimes?
Where you just stream and analyze our post-game show?
I would come on whenever you wanted me to, Taylor.
Sure. I mean, I'm going to feel uncomfortable being live with you while you, like, analyze my beard structure for the night. Like how many times I run my fingers through it.
How many hairs are standing up in the back, yeah.
Like, I might have to shave if you're going to do that. I might have to go clean shaven. But then I'm sure you can, make something out of that, too. I know what you're capable of.
Dude, if we somehow get Wembanyama, we have to, this has to be a thing.
Taylor, you know what you should do? You should just help me make TikTok and YouTube clips.
Yeah, can you do timestamps while you're doing that too?
Yeah, timestamps, please, so it's easier on me. Because there's 5 or 6 clips from this stream that I need to do. I need to start doing that more. It's just, on top of everything else, it's a lot. Bonnie, why should I shave? What will it get me? What positivity will come my way if I shave my beard? David says XXX. Happiness. Well, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, no matter what I do with this. Cause of this thing above my head up here. This thing is going to bring me a lot of misery.
I have a question. Do you shave this part, or is it just only growing down?
Grow. It just, I wish it grew. It would look better, but it just, I don't know. What do I have to inject in my cheeks, Eric?
I don't know.
What did you do?
I'm super hairy, so I don't know. But anyways, I just trimmed recently, so yeah, this might be the first time you've ever had a longer beard than I did.
Yeah, I don't know. It's winter. Why not? Screw it. I don't care. I can, yeah, never mind.
I mean, you can see mine naturally gross up here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, If the Blazers, what should I like? What bet should I do? Like, if the Blazers do something, I'll shave it. Like, if they win their next game.
How about if
this is so much work, man.
Win their next 3 games?
Bonnie can't relate. There's a lot of work that's been put into this. Okay, Bonnie? All right.
Wait, when did you start growing this?
I don't know. That's how long it's been.
So it could be about the time the Blazers started sucking. So maybe your beard is.
No,
the
I mean we can
legitimately
like, if you want to, we can legitimately go back through streams. Let's see. Trevin could probably figure this out in 3 seconds, but I'm legitimately going to see when I mean, if it does coincide with it, then I will shave it. All right, I will take the hit, and then if they start playing well, then we know I gotta be. At least, like, I can't grow it out. Like, I can still have a little bit, but, I mean, when did we start sucking, Eric?
Sometime in November, I think.
Yeah, well...
And then we played okay in early December, and then, yeah.
Dude, actually, oh, no.
Oh, man.
It actually might have. I mean, like, I'll trim it. So I think I trimmed it. Yeah, I definitely trimmed it since then.
Okay.
But it was looking like it was coinciding with when we started struggling. But also, yeah, when I'm upset, I let it go.
It's like the reverse playoff beard. It's like making us suck.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, I think I trimmed it something like late November. I think it's been going since like early December, and we were already struggling. That's my best guess based on looking through streams.
The basketball gods do not want you to look manly, I guess.
I mean, have you guys seen my baby face? It's not good, all right? It's not. I can't go clean shaven. I just can't. It's undoable. I think when did I go clean shaven last for a stream?
I don't know.
Was it the draft? I thought it was for a pretty big stream. I don't remember. I can't even remember. Trevin, go find it. Anyway.
No, DJ Vega, we need to stay tied for 11th to get Wemby, because if we move up, that'll change what happened.
Mm-hmm. Ever since your last live show with audience, we started to suck. That's not true. We sucked before then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on now.
I mean, we've lost 4 in a row.
And we won by like 30.
Yeah, we won.
So if I threw a watch party tonight, we would have won by 30, meaning that more of you guys need to show up so we can do it more often. And we can have some fun, and the food was great, and we can win some basketball games. Next one, it's looking like a day after the Super Bowl. So mark your calendars, and I might be drunk if the Niners go on and win the Super Bowl. So I'll be drunk for the following, 48 hours. At a celebration. All right. By the way, if you follow me on Twitter and you're a Seahawks fan, apologies. Nope, we're not going to show that, J. King. Nope. I'm hiding that comment.
Man.
Dude, Eric. So if you don't know, me and Eric are Niners fans.
Yeah.
I know, we wished him happy birthday, and he said F the Niners. Man. Nathan, how tall are you? Who are you calling little guy? Me or Eric? Are we going to have another height conversation? I mean, I understand if you guys are Hawks fans. I'm just saying, I'm not... Bro, I don't even know if I'll tweet out, trash talking the Seahawks. I only trash talk the Seahawks because you guys trash talk me. 6 weeks ago, Seahawks are going to win the division. Seahawks are going to beat the Niners for the division. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we'll have that turn out. Have fun scoring 7 to 10 points. Anyway. I mean, like, honestly, with the pain of this season, if, like, Niners found a way to lose that game, I mean, I would just, at that point, the pain would be so much that I wouldn't even feel it. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
But I also might lose my mind at the same time, so. Anyway. Eric Olson's a Niners fan. Who in here are Niners fans? Eric Olson, we got. Chris Brandon, they don't play at midnight. They play at 1:30. So.
It's the early game.
It's so funny, like, seeing chat, like, say, Seahawks gonna win, Seahawks gonna win.
Hey,
it's like
man.
the most positivity we've seen in chat in months.
If you're a Seahawks fan, you got to be feeling it, right? Because you trade your best player. You are better than that team, and on top of that, you get their first round pick still, and it ends up being like the 5th pick, and then on top of that, you go on with Geno Smith to make the playoffs. I mean, you're playing with house money, so you might as well be feeling yourself. And who cares if you lose? If it's like the ultimate, like, thing. If you win and beat your rivals in the playoffs in a year where they're Super Bowl contenders and you were supposed to be the worst team in the league, like that's like the ultimate lose-lose situation for the 49ers. So, like, if they find a way to not win this game after winning, how many they won in a row? 10 in a row?
I mean, if the Niners can't beat the Seahawks, they weren't going to advance in future rounds. So it's like, at least, I mean, it's always fun to go on a run, but it's like, bro, if we can't take care of the Seahawks at home, then we ain't winning no Super Bowl. So at that point, then you got to figure out who the QB is going to be next year. I'm not really,
You're also right that they did get lucky that Aaron Rodgers choked, and
Yeah. When was the last time the Seahawks beat a winning team? Seahawks fans, can y'all let me know? Anyway, why Niners but Mariners baseball? My dad was a Niners fan, so my dad was a Niners fan, and he loved NASCAR. Those are the two things I took from him. All right, he was also a Yankees fan. Basically, he was just a bandwagoner back in the day. The Niners won a lot of championships. Yankees obviously won a lot of championships. I did not take after the Yankees though. Because when I got up here, my grandfather didn't watch much NFL, but he was a big baseball fan. So watched baseball with him in Gonzaga. So I got Gonzaga and Mariners from my grandfather. I got the Niners from my dad, and NASCAR from my dad. And then Blazers for myself. So that's why. Taylor, I'll respect Geno after we beat him.
I mean, Geno's had a heck of a year.
Yeah. I mean, Geno's nice, man.
Much respect to Geno for what he did this year. After, like...
I'm just not worried about this game
at
at all.
A lot of people thought Drew Lock should get the job over
This
him.
is the most confident I've been for any of my teams going into a playoff game ever, which probably means they're going to find a way to lose now, but I'm not worried. Jay King, yeah, it would be the same place for an in-person watch party. Yeah, so, I mean, the Niners are the worst team out of all my teams. Or not the Niners, the Blazers are the worst team out of all my teams right now. And it's the team that I pour everything into, so, yeah, that's fun. Jackson, bro, just stop. Just stop, my guy. I mean, dude, even my college football team is better than your college football team somehow, so... I just stop right now. Shoot, Eric's college football team's better than your college football team right now.
Not according to the AP polls.
Well, the AP polls BS. Yeah, you guys should have been ahead of them. Yeah, anyway. Seattle beat the Giants on October 30th, but overall have lost to teams with winning records since then. Their last win against a team with a winning record this season was 3 months ago against the Giants at home. Cool. Good luck. Good luck on Saturday. And then I should be going to that game on Saturday with the Nerk tickets that I get. So should be sitting close for Luka Doncic. I get to watch him tear apart our defense. So that'll be a busy Saturday for me. You know, if the Niners somehow choke, then I can go watch the Blazers get torched by a Serbian or whatever he is.
I thought you weren't going to say the name, but you did.
I did. Just casually. I didn't even think about it, but yeah. You know, I just know people. Oh, he gave you tickets. No wonder you defend him. Like, I've been defending him since way before, so yeah, it doesn't change anything. Anyway. Demir says this stream is going through the 7 stages of grief. I thought it was 5 stages. What are the 7 stages? Demir, can you please... what are the 7 stages of grief? Because I thought there was only 5. I'm curious what the extra 2 stages are. So I can be self-aware.
Hawks beat the Broncos and the Niners lost to the Broncos, which is...
Yeah, the Niners weren't good at the start of the year.
The Niners also lost to the,
to the Bears.
Chicago Bears, who had the first pick. So.
They also lost to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Okay, then they played the Chiefs and got eviscerated by them, and they were like, oh, well, let's start winning some games. They were 3-4, and now they're 13-4, so they've won 10 in a row.
Well, they
and
made
Brock
one of the
Purdy is better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
And they made one of the best in-season trades of all time, getting McCaffrey,
who's been phenomenal. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Even if our defense doesn't have a good game, like, I'm confident in being able to win a shootout, and I'm confident in being able to win a slugfest. With the Niners, it's always been like, I'm not confident in them winning a shootout against any team. Because I never liked Jimmy G. Never trusted him in big moments. You were higher on Jimmy G than I was. I was ready for some Trey Lance this year, and then he got hurt.
Well, I wanted Trey Lance to play over him, but yeah.
Half Daddy says Purdy is a rookie. NFL rookies in the playoffs are 13-20 with 0 Super Bowl wins. Well, Purdy has the best team around him of any rookie that will play in the playoffs. Or that has played in the playoffs. Best team around him. Like, the bar for our QB is not high.
I mean, we've seen young quarterbacks with an awesome defense and, good running game and that kind of stuff, good coaching, win Super Bowls. Plenty of times.
Yeah, don't sleep on Brock Purdy. The thing with the Niners offense is a lot of their offense, passing game-wise, is like easy, short passes, like screen stuff or run after the catch stuff. Like, Kittle's great after the catch, Debo's great after the catch, Ayuk's solid after the catch. They don't even have to... Like, Purdy doesn't have to make these big-time tough throws. You got McCaffrey, who's a really good receiving running back. Running game's very solid. Like, Purdy doesn't have to set the world on fire or do anything. Like, that's the thing. Jimmy G, the Niners almost won a Super Bowl with him, and it wasn't like he was making these big-time tough throws. Shoot, every time he tried to make a big-time tough throw, I felt like it was going to be a pick. He would occasionally have moments where it's like, okay, yeah, that's why, people thought he was going to be really good when they traded for him, but he was never somebody setting the world on fire. The problem is when we got down against Kansas City in that Super Bowl, like, there was no coming back from that, and we didn't score enough. Play. Yeah, like, he missed that deep throw to
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders. I was blanking on his name, and, I'm confident going in.
Demir said the 6th stage is trading Lillard, and the 7th is I'm done with the Blazers.
Okay, we're not going through the 7 stages of grief. We're going through 5. You can go through those stages on your own if you want to. Eric needs his phone or keyboard taken away from him.
What? My hands are down.
Read my 7 stages. Eric says Aeromancer. Aeromancer's 7 stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, tankathon, sims, and football. That's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Demir said it was a Blazers Twitter joke, yeah.
Honestly, I went back. Okay, at the start of the stream, it was acceptance. Then I went into depression. Then I went to anger. Then I went to bargaining. That's the stages I went through on this stream. All right. I'm sure Taylor was going to analyze it and point that out. I just ruined some content for him. Unfortunately. Taylor, shut up. Shut up, Taylor. I hate you. What is wrong with you? You try you man. He's trying to get a 5-minute timeout is what he's trying to do. Anyway, I don't know. Anything else from the game we haven't talked about in like 30 minutes?
Not really. Just another depressing game.
Yep. Cavs coming up. That would be a good win.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we beat the Cavs now after losing tonight. Like, we talk about teams like after bad losses or embarrassing losses, like how they come out inspired. I don't know. I feel like we beat the Cavs. I can't even say it like straight, but I truly believe we're gonna play better. Like we're gonna make some threes finally. Grant will get out of his shooting slump. Oh yeah, Billups interview. Okay, well we wanted to do that, right, Eric?
Sure.
Okay, well let's do it. I should every time we lose, I should also put these really emotional like tags in the thumbnail. I feel like it got more clicks because I just put Blazers suck in the thumbnail.
Alex, someone said earlier Allen only played 6 minutes tonight. I'm assuming they meant Jared Allen. Do you know why that's the case? That would be... I don't want him to be injured, but that would really help us out a lot because we struggle with Jared Allen. Illness. Okay, thanks. Who knows?
All right,
Brian Tadovich with the $2 donation. Billups interview, ? Final stage.
Yes, Brian, here we go. Thank you for the dono. Time for your guy, Chauncey Billups. Let me unmute.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Chauncey, how do you sum that one up?
If it's too loud.
Obviously, go down twice, come back.
We can hear the questions? Eric, we can hear the questions for once.
Nice.
They finally got a second mic. Good job, Portland.
Obviously, go down twice, come back twice, and blow it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, most people look at this game and say, damn, we had some good looks. 3 good-looking threes at the end. But we lost this game at the start of the game and started third quarter. This is where you kind of lost it. You go down
Facts.
a couple times, and again, I got to play these guys. And, the starters, we just didn't play well enough. And obviously, we shot it terribly, 6 for 35.
Apologies for Chauncey cursing, by the way, since we don't curse on post-game shows. Bad Chauncey. All right.
You should never even be in a game when you shoot it that poorly, but we were. But we just couldn't get enough stops, when it mattered, to get on top of them.
This is 3 games in a row now that at least once you have an extended scoring drought, to start or in the indie game to end a quarter. Like, is there anything that you have kind of pinpointed at this point of like why this is happening and what there is to kind of address with that, or is it just?
It's just we're just in a little funk, man. I don't know what it is. I can't really pinpoint it. Obviously, I'm watching the hell out of it. And, when you go on those type of droughts, because it was crazy, like in the fourth quarter, we're 1 for 10 from 3, but we're like 11 for 11 at the rim. We're getting there. And we're getting out kickouts, and we just couldn't make. But, again, this game, it had nothing to do with the fourth quarter. It was all the first and third. Our starters they just weren't good enough. They didn't come out with the right mindset. That team is big. They're young. They play hard as hell. And I just felt like we reacted as opposed to act. And most of the time you lose when you do that.
Were you thinking about when you talk about the starters, not having it for these last couple of games? Are you thinking about switching something up there? Is that something you were thinking about, or
No, we got to be better.
Chauncey, you talk about being 11-11 at the rim, generating those looks. That first half, you guys appeared to go into more post-up actions than in any first half this season. Was that a concerted effort to try to get the ball to each side of the court and kind of get those actions more than usual, or is that just kind of how things worked out?
We ran a couple different things tonight that we usually haven't run much of. I thought it was pretty good for us. Those all of those actions worked out. It worked out. I thought we didn't turn it over excessively tonight, even though we had some pretty loud ones. We didn't turn over crazy, so I was okay with that, you know. But I just, you know, at the end of the day, again, man, you know, you shoot, you go 6 for 35. It's just you're supposed to get beat by 20 something.
There was a three that Ant hit that got called a foul on the floor. That, you know, is that one that you maybe thought about challenging at all? Because I mean, to me, it looked like you probably had a better angle than I did, but to me, it looked like he had maybe started the shooting motion, and that was
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was the right call, you know, at the time. You know, I wasn't. I thought it was because I had a really good look at it, and then when I looked at my guys over there, I don't think it. I didn't think we could win that.
That's the entire interview.
What about the Nerk? Why would you ask about the Ant 3-pointer and not the Nerk screen?
Who asked that? Was that Heiken?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Well, that was a waste of time. Okay. Heiken was complaining on Twitter. Okay, yeah, so I think that was Heiken. What about Nurkic's stationary screen that got called a moving screen? I don't know. Do we want some sort of entertainment in a press conference? Do we want to listen to Yusuf Nurkic? Like, do we want something? Because Nurkic had some sound bites. Okay,
sure.
Let's listen to Nerk, because that was just,
Nurkic is a loss like this a little easier to accept when you have a number like 17.1% on threes. Like, that's almost...
I don't think so. I mean...
Is this loss easier to accept considering you couldn't make a shot? What a question. Good job, Nerk. Don't buy that. What the... Who? What? Okay. I'm not trying to be mean to media. But, oh my god, that's... What? Why would not being able to make a shot make a loss feel better? Okay, I'll just play it. What?
Nurkic is a loss like this a little easier to accept when you have a number like 17.1% on threes. Like, that's almost...
I don't think so. I mean, these turnovers, man, it's on me. I gotta own it this time. It's really bugging. Like, I'm trying to do the best I can to facilitate.
Did he just say it's bugging? Sorry. Did he just say it's bugging?
I think he meant it's bugging him, but...
You said it's bugging. This interview's already better than the last one, and we're 20 seconds in. But yeah, we already read off this quote earlier in the stream, but yeah, I'll play it. Oh my goodness.
This time, it's really bugging. Like, I'm trying to do the best I can to facilitate it, but it's not there, and I'm hurting my team, my teammates, and coach and coaching staff. It just... You know, it's not there, and I got to stop doing it. That mean I'm not passing. You know, I need to pass to open man. Simple as that. You know, I think at some point, especially this, you know, half a season in, we gotta be better with that and start with me. I can't have 5 turnovers per game. I don't even know if it's that number, but it feels like with the charge, with the turnovers, it just I'm hurting my teammates way too much.
Props.
Nerk, that last play, it looked like it was drawn up for Jeremy. Was that kind of what you guys were looking for, that shot from Jeremy?
I mean, you're not going to have many games like what he went 0 for 6. You're not going to have many games like that.
Unfortunately, it's been 3 games in a row, but he'll get through it.
But you know, I feel like we have a 3 great shot out there. I was you know, I felt good when I left the hand too. So I don't think we want to depend on the last shot, you know, against teams pretty much when we should have a control and we don't, you know. We start a game like that and, you know, put ourselves in a hole, spend a lot of energy to come back, and then, you know, it's a grind. And I don't think we understand the how much, especially with these turnovers, I'll start with myself, put ourselves in disadvantage every night. And you know, I promise I'll be better.
Doesn't get any easier. You got Cleveland and Dallas twice coming up. I mean, how do you...
It don't really matter who we play, man. I feel like the better team with the better we are, which is weird. With the better team record, let's put it that way. No disrespect to Orlando and any team, but for some reason, we should approach the winnable games, and it's gonna hurt to lose the game like this more than like we have some slips that we shouldn't, and it can go either way. Some people can say we win some games we probably shouldn't, but I think in this league, if you win these games you're supposed to win, quote by quote supposed to, you should be fine. And I think especially later, last couple of weeks we've been slipping with these.
Nerk, it seems like throughout the year you guys are either good offensively or good defensively, and you've kind of gone through these waves. How do you get to where you can equalize, where you guys are getting stuff on both sides of the floor night in, night out?
I mean, this season we really trying to be, one of the, better teams defensively. I think we was beginning of the year we was that team. Even if we didn't make shots, we was that team. And somehow when we start making, these shots, we kind of get away from that defense. And, in and out lineups, you're going to change a little different, how you play. And since we, lost the rhythm, we never been the same as far as, like you said, up and downs, which is normal. Every team has a, up and downs in the season. For us, I'm not too concerned about offense because, I'm messing up a lot with these turnovers, and we messing up a lot with, offensive rebounds allowed, and I think that's what hurt us, especially our offense, execution. I think the coach and coaching staff put us in great position, but we not execute. We definitely not, lack of focus or whatever it is. I don't think it's more on us, for me and my teammates than coach or staff. And they did everything right. They looked at the film. They studied there every day to put us in the best position possible. But for some reason, at the end of the day, we go out there and play. And when we're not performing how we should perform, we get back to the gym. That's we're gonna be better. We have to be better. And all I know that it feel bad. Feel bad, and especially tonight. The gut is not telling you something that. I feel probably the same, but I'm really mad that we lost this game.
Nerk, how's the locker room kind of hanging together during this whole rough patch? Because that could go either way in terms of like it could splinter a team or everybody could kind of stick together. Like how would you assess kind of where you guys are on that spectrum right now?
I mean, losing sucks, man. When you have a winning guys, I think you just gonna make how we approach and who we are. I don't think we ever have too low at this point in the season or any point in the season like be like, oh shit, it's over, right? But losing sucks and the feeling is not great. Everybody know that we own it, especially games on a road trip that we felt like we could win and we didn't, and then you forget a little that feeling what takes, and you be in position to two last turnovers that you build a different outcome. And I give up offensive rebound later in the game. It's just sometimes it's just those little things, man. And happy to have GP back, and we're gonna have a bodies back and a different team for us, especially defensively. But like I said, I'm not too worried about offense or making shots because I don't think that's been ever issue here, regardless who is with the team. But I do really need to figure out these turnovers, and as a group and personally as myself too. I think that's going to really help us to be who we're supposed to be.
Good interview. I love Nerk, man. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know how you hate on any of that. Anyway, yeah, no, I mean, I feel like he was pretty open, and he's generally been pretty open. He says he doesn't feel like it's anything to do with the coaching staff. They're just not executing, which you could definitely make that case just by watching it with how many silly turnovers this team has, and he had a few of them. Props to him for owning up to it. Props to him for saying he needs to be better. You know, and I like that he's mad that they lost this game, because sometimes with guys it's just like, oh, well, Chauncey's just glossing over this, whatever. You could tell that Dame was mad. This team is mad. This team is not happy with how this is going. And it's just weird because, like, there's stretches where they struggle in games and people are like, oh, these guys don't care. These guys don't care. I don't understand that, man. Just because they're struggling doesn't mean they don't care. And I think you could visibly see a lot of frustration today with some of the play, just kind of in some of the body language. And Dame was frustrated. Nurkic obviously frustrated. This team knows that they can be better than this. This team knows that they're not playing up to their standard. And it's definitely going to frustrate them. These guys are all competitive. They wouldn't be in the NBA if they weren't. So that's where it's just like, all right, well, we'll see how long it takes for them to figure out. I do expect them to play better at some point in this month of January than they've played lately. It's just, it has to happen soon. So I like his comment about, you know, it doesn't matter who's coming in. Like, they, you know, tend to rise to the challenge is basically what he said, against some better teams. And that's mostly the case. They've been competitive in a lot of games against tough teams. So, yeah, I mean, you take care of business the next couple of games, get back to 500, get some wins over some tough teams, and start to build more of a rhythm. You know, Grant breaks out of his shooting slump. Dame plays better. Hopefully you're able to get these starters a little bit more rest and get them a little fresher, and then reinforcements on the way with Nas, Justice Winslow, GP2 played a second game today, and then the trade deadline's coming up. Like, that's, you know, this team still has a chance this season to figure things out and not have to deal with the play-in to get into the playoffs. This team still has a chance of getting home court advantage in the playoffs. It's just obviously looking bleak right now with how they've played, and it's just gonna come down to whether or not these guys figure it out, especially with the turnovers, but then also shooting better from the floor as well, and then maintaining some of the defensive glimpses they've shown, and they have been okay defensively lately. You would love for them to be an above-average defensive team. I don't know if that's possible with who they have. But as long as they're average there and figure out the offense, they should be fine. So that's kind of the optimistic viewpoint on it. But, I mean, they might not figure it out, you know. I don't know. It's just hard to say at this point in time. But that's what, you know, they'll respond from this negatively or positively, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep. I'm glad it seems like someone cares. I mean, I'm not saying they don't care, but they haven't showed it very often. So it's nice to see someone flat out say, I need to be better and this is unacceptable and we should be losing these games. Yeah.
I think people don't realize that there's a difference between, like, caring and just being locked in mentally. Like,
right.
Sometimes you're just not locked in mentally.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not that you don't care. It's just anybody who's been, like, an athlete knows where you're just not seeing, like, you're not able to, like, you having to think through plays that normally you could instinctually respond to. You know what I mean? And so you're playing slow and it looks like you don't care, but you know, that cut that you were supposed to make, you didn't realize you were supposed to make it quick enough, and then all of a sudden somebody drove and now the cut's not there, right? Like that sort of thing. And it looks like you're just standing in the corner, but it's not caring, but it's more so you're just not able to read the game at a high enough level. So that's the thing is a lot of times I think this team just isn't locked in mentally for whatever reason. And you heard Chauncey kind of talk about it a little bit, the mental approach starting games and at the start of third quarters. It took this team some time to get locked in mentally. I don't think that's them not caring or anything. I think that's just more so a mental thing.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously has to get better, but there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So my right hamstring is having a little bit of a mini Charlie horse right now.
Oh, no.
I'm going to stretch it out. And anything else you want to say for this stream?
No, I just appreciate everyone for watching. Hope you all have a good rest of your night. And, no stream tomorrow, but I think, there's, 4 streams over the next 5 days after that. So,
yeah, we got Thursday, Blazers Uprise Live, Thursday.
4 days. 4 streams in 4 days, but 2 of those are on the same day. But yeah.
4? Yeah, because we play Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, back-to-back against the Mavericks. So there will be 4 streams in 4 days, 2 on Thursday. One of them will be on our second channel, Blazers Uprise Live, at 3:30 to 3:45 is when we go live there. Go into the description if you want the link to our second channel, and then I will have a game preview for the game Thursday at some point. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying those despite despite this team struggling. And if you didn't watch the one earlier today, you missed something new. So kind of went all in with something there. And so we'll have a preview on Thursday. And then for the two Mavericks games that are back-to-back, I'll just do one preview for those two games. Those are videos that I'm uploading. Previewing games, just kind of trying to get right to the point. 10 to 12-minute videos are the goal, and just concise and information about guys. And I told y'all Franz Wagner is having a good season. I feel like he gets really underrated, and I don't really understand why. Banchero gets all the hype being the number 1 overall pick, but Franz Wagner, in my opinion, has been better than him this season. If Orlando was better, you could make a case for Franz Wagner belonging on the All-Star team. And we saw it tonight. He was phenomenal. Phenomenal for the Magic. Really like his game. So, anyway.
Yep, he's really good. Orlando, I mentioned this on the last stream. It's like they have to... we were talking about Washington, and I was saying they have, just too many dudes at the same position. Yeah. I feel like Magic are like that too. They obviously know who their guys are and need to, I think, consolidate some of the other positions and just kind of shore up their roles a little bit better with the second unit guys. But
yeah, they're in a good spot though with Wagner being a second-year player, Banchero being a rookie, both guys averaging 20 a game, both guys being as big and skilled as they are. That's easy to build around. And Banchero is not the best defensive player, but Wagner's solid. And Banchero has a chance to be solid. And then you got Bol. You just got these matchup nightmares. Orlando's going to be super intriguing. They're one of my favorite teams in the league. Them and Indiana are the two teams from the East that I really, really like. But Orlando's more fascinating given some of the size, length, and skill sets they have. So, it's not a good team, but they have been playing better lately. They've won 11 out of their last 17 games. This wasn't a team to overlook. Unfortunately, this was a win that the Blazers needed to get, and they didn't against a team that they still should have beaten. That's only 5-14 on the road this year. So, tough loss. Move on. Thursday, 2 streams. Off tomorrow. Hopefully you can join us on Thursday, and we'll continue to talk more trade stuff as we get closer to the trade deadline, and there will be some content around that. Still try to figure out what exactly I want to do for that. But anything else that I missed?
Nope. Hope to see you all on our 2 streams on Thursday.
Yep. Until then, have a good night. Have a good Wednesday. We'll catch you Thursday. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.